Yo, I'm pretty sure that these bumblebees are having a 69 on my porch right now. Dead ass. Fucking bottom bee is really giving the business to the top bee, or vice versa. Fucking rocking and everything. I don't know if you can see that shit. Let them go. Horny bastards.
Hey, good evening, all you good-looking sons of bitches.
Oh
Welcome
yeah.
back to another cold ass episode of what we'd like to call safety meeting. Hey,
Oh
Joe.
fuck. Safety meeting.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So we're out here on a nice, beautiful Sunday evening. Joe's got
Real.
his finger up. Joe,
Fuck Tom Brady.
fuck Tom Brady. I second that notion, sir.
That's all we're saying about the Super Bowl. Fuck Tom Brady.
Yep, that's pretty much all you need to hear. Is fuck TB12. Remind
I threw him
the only
off.
thing I'm going to say, the only thing I'm going to say is what's up with all the guys at halftime with jock straps on their faces dancing around with the weekend? That's all I'm going to really say. I mean, seriously, those things were so tight, you couldn't tell whether they were just a jock strap or tighty whities. You couldn't really tell. They could be the new in between. You know, those they're like kind of like bikinis. They're kind of like thongs, but they're basically jock straps. I don't know. It's just my observation. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Maybe they're like one of those like banana hammocks. Maybe that's
Speedos.
what it was.
Ooh,
No, banana hammocks.
same thing, isn't it?
It's well, speedos are like what athletes, swimmers wear. Where banana hammocks are what people like to wear in their spare time to make a little change.
Gotcha.
Usually with a
Gotcha.
techno beat. Basically, if you're like the weekend.
Gotcha. I just go on OnlyFans. Do house chores naked. Oh yeah.
So, anyways, just because didn't say it at the top, welcome everybody back. We appreciate you always checking in, always liking, always watching. We appreciate you. We love you. And just because I didn't say it, and if you're new to the channel, I'm Big Pat. That's my cousin Joe. We like to get high and talk about things. So, what do we want to talk about tonight, Joe?
I personally would like to talk about Enoch a little bit. I brought him up a lot. I'm trying to get you to
I've
listen to him.
noticed. I've noticed through different things, like a lot of about Enoch has been coming more to the surface than it was, say, 3 months ago. You're finding different articles about it. People are having different specials. You'll see stuff on History Channel.
It's
Uh,
because more just more people are being awoken to it. You know what I'm saying?
right. It's become like supply and demand. Tons of people, it's popping up in their search bars, whether it be on Google or YouTube or fucking whatever you're on, inquiring about it. So I guess like supply and demand. Well, now they're going to start giving you some content about it, and I don't know. You introduced it to me personally a couple months back, and I've explored it, and I'll tell you honestly, I haven't still yet finished it from beginning to end. However, where I have uh, traveled into, um, you know, for the most part, gives me the overall, like the overall picture, I guess.
Right.
What the message is that's really trying to be sent home, and I can't talk about it for hours because I wouldn't say I'm a specialist in it or anything. I'm just, from what I understand, is that there's this big part of history, uh, this big part of history that was left out of everybody's lives for generations. We're talking thousands of years. And in this history, through stories as well as, I guess, explanations, a lot of the things that never made sense to us as human beings in this modern world are starting to make sense. Things, that were unexplained, things that, like, one of the things, just for example, okay, and then I know you got a lot to say about it, but the things that really, to me, connected the dots the most was when people always reference the pyramids in Egypt. Pyramids being one of the most mysterious places on Earth because it's been around the longest and nobody knows its true origin. They can only speculate based off of what they've dug up, what they've researched, and through a series of historical documents that, bounce from generation to generation. And so I always had these questions about it as well. Well, it is explained in the Book of Enoch that basically Enoch was the great architect for the pyramids, but he didn't receive this knowledge through God. It wasn't God's knowledge unto him, and it was
Mm,
given to him. It was given to him from the heavens, or in other words, another civilization, aliens. Another
you're
race, another cosmic entity, so to speak.
you misinterpreted that
Right?
because he did
Maybe.
because he did learn it from God. Because it says in the book of Enoch he was taken into the heavens and taught from the gods. Because Enoch never died. A lot like
Right.
Jesus, right? All right, because Jesus has the great resurrection and all like that. That's why we celebrate Easter. Jesus technically never really died, because there's people nowadays still that are technically legally dead that come back to life. You know what I mean? So those people they're not counted as resurrected or zombies or however you want us to put it. so so just like Jesus, he was taken into heaven. Like
Where he was
he
taught.
where he was taught where he was taught by the gods all of their ways, or Anunnaki or aliens, however you want to view it.
Right.
But he was taught it to
And it
by
was
the
through
gods.
his, he was through this knowledge. He was taught, mathematics and geometry and the ability, to work, make angles out of, 12-ton pieces of stone. Things that, even in modern technology, we can't do without the assistance of a machine. It's not like somebody has the ability to go pound out an angled stone from hand, you
How
know.
even no, even the book of Enoch talks about how the race of fallen angels that live here, that they came here, that each one of them would teach the humans something different. One of them would be teaching them archaeology. One of them would be teaching them how to build shit. This one was teaching them about chemistry and alchemy and about the stars, all different types of shit. Maybe that's what the old Greek gods really just were. Maybe they weren't gods really at all. They were just fallen. They were just fallen angels. You know what I mean?
It's just it's really interesting. Um, why do you think it is? I know we've touched on it before, in previous episodes and whatnot, but like, so Enoch has never been a part of the Old Testament, never been a part of the New Testament. Historians believe that if it were to fall into timeline, it would be somewhere right after the period of Genesis.
Yeah. Well, he actually he is mentioned in Genesis because he is Noah's great great grandfather. but he's only mentioned in like a faction of, like, they give you a rundown of people and how long their lifespan was, and and the name Enoch is in there, but they're not sure about who they're talking about. It could have been a different Enoch, but the name Enoch is in Genesis.
Right. I was just going off of what others have said.
Oh
Like
yeah,
if
no,
they if
no.
they were to, if they were to put it on a timeline, it would be somewhere right after Genesis. In between the era of Genesis and Exodus would fall the timeline of where Enoch would would make his impact what he was supposed to, and make his like do his part that he was supposed to.
Because they believe that's why the pyramids were really made, was to protect all of his workings from the floods. Because think about it, where did we find the first couple books? In caverns down in Dead Sea, hidden away, deep, deep and away, preserved perfectly, right? So we got all of these extra chambers and all these pyramids that haven't been searched. Like shit, did you know that there's a freshwater lake, or there's a clear lake underneath the biggest pyramid
Yeah. Yep.
with a sarcophagus and out underneath it that was supposedly supposed to be buried with gifts from Orion. But when they opened it, it was empty. But that's not to say that someone, because Greek guy Hannibal, he was the first one to talk about it, but they all said he was crazy. There ain't no way that's true. It's in the middle of Sahara. How are you gonna have a lake? Da 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 da. Well, motherfucker was right.
It's real. I've seen pictures of it. It's
Yeah.
real.
And you've have thousands and thousands of years of people looting and raiding that whole area. You're gonna tell me that someone didn't eventually find it?
Right. Now
But just to,
I know a lot of historians believe that inside one of the many chambers inside of the Great Pyramid is to believe to be the continuing works and the books written by Enoch, because in history it says that Enoch during his time wrote 400 books,
yep.
and these 400 books were not like a chapter book. It wasn't just bouncing from one topic to the next. It was informational, and it was for specific generations or specific timelines in which the content would only make sense. And the content from the first book of Enoch is what is relevant to what they believe, or we all are starting to kind of believe is modern society.
Oh,
We are the
100%.
times. This is the time, and there's a reason why it was only discovered, 40 years ago, 50 years ago.
I think with the books of Enoch that we have now, except for the final parts like the parables and shit like that, where they're talking about the end of days, it's more to help us understand our past. You know what I mean? Because we're not really sure. Like you got one religion that says one thing, and then the next religion that says the next thing, and then if you go back to ancient religions, there's multiple gods. You know what I mean? Like even to the Native Americans, like yeah, they all ended up praying to Mother Earth, but I'm pretty sure there was other elements to that have been lost throughout our history. You know what I mean?
So, do you think the purpose of it being out there is to educate us, to let us know that the end of days is coming
I think it's
and what
out.
to look for?
I think it's out there to educate people, to show you the actual truth, and the ones that are susceptible and able to understand it and able to take it as for what it is will, and the ones that can't won't.
Facts.
Sometimes ignorance is bliss.
Facts, folks. And if you like any of this shit or you're curious about anything at all, thank you. Go ahead and hit that like button. We appreciate you.
Because
Because
like,
this is some pretty interesting shit, because, not to cut you off, but like the only way you're going to learn about it is to inquire, and the only way to inquire is to show interest, right? You want to have to inquire about it. It has to really pique your attention. And a lot of people, it's been thrown around for at least the past couple of years that for sure they consider these the end of times. And, they're looking for these signs that point them into their curiosity. And
Like the
one of the
reason why
things that many people turn to automatically is religion. You know,
the
they
reason
look
why I
for
think
faith.
the reason why I think it's meant to show people the truth is this right here, bro. Because like I said, you got each religion that all says something different. Now, what did the fallen angels come here for in the Book of Enoch? To mate with the women and the people of Earth, right?
So
Like
they
they
came here
found.
for resources initially.
Well, no, not in the Book of Enoch. You're thinking about the Anunnaki. In the Book of Enoch,
Oh,
the angels came here just to mate with the women. They were attracted to the women's hair. All right. And the reason why I say that is because in old Judaic and Muslim principles, the reason why they cover their heads and cover their hair at all times is to keep the angels at bay. You don't want to tease the angels because that's what attracts them is their hair,
gotcha.
right? So,
Makes sense.
like, we take it as barbaric and shit like that nowadays. Like, look at these guys making their wife cover up so that only they can see them, this, that, and the third. First off, that's their religion. You know what I mean? She knew what she was signing up for. She's not there against her will. Um, and second off, there's a reason for it. They were trying to prevent what had already happened once before. But just like in Catholicism and Christianity and Judaism and Muslim also suffered from the same fact of we don't like how this is taught, so we're going to change it. You know what I mean? Man created religion, not the other way around, right? So that's what the Book of Enoch is here for, man. It's here to show you. You have the evidence of all these Nephilim or giants races that were ancient. Here's the reason why. You all have the historical records of fucking worldwide flood. Here's why, right? You want to know why there's all these frozen barriers at the East Pole? Here's why.
Facts.
You know what I mean? You want to know why that they say that hell, you're going to go there and you're going to burn in a pit of eternal fire? Because that's what Enoch saw when God took him to hell to show him this is where all the souls will go after the end, after the judgment time to perish forever. Right? And it's not just all the souls, that's for the fallen angels also. The ones that after the judgment still fought against Jesus, fought against God. That's where you rest. Right? So man turned that into a depiction about what's going to happen to me and you if we don't follow their rules. That ain't what it is, bro. Hell's not
A
for us.
guideline.
Exactly. Hell's not for us. Honestly, I believe like there's going to come a time when Jesus or Enoch or whoever you want to call him, the Savior comes to us, right? And everyone's going to know it. And at that point, his true followers move on, and the rest of you, your energy is just dispersed and gone forever. Because that's all you ever were to begin with. Energy. Like
Negative energy.
negative
Dark
and
energy.
positive. We're both. See, that's another misconception that modern day religion is teaching people. Like modern day religion teaches people that you are innately bad. Like that's just what they teach you, that humans are innately bad beings. You are all innately evil. Well, how is that possible when our creator is innately the good and the positive and the light? That doesn't make sense. Why would he make a being that's innately evil? Right? What it is that what baby comes out born and you just look at him and say, that's a murderer. It don't fucking happen.
Right.
It
Right.
don't happen.
Who's got? You
What
don't
what
have that
happens?
ability.
What happens is you take that sweet soul, that light, and you change it into evil over time. But it don't come out fucking evil. The Book of Enoch will tell you that too. You are not innately evil person. You are down to the earth good person. But it's the circumstances in the world that makes you an evil person.
Right. It's giving into temptation, knowing your point of break and crossing it willingly.
Like, I know this is a little off subject, but there was a passage in the book of Timothy that I read yesterday, right? Where Jesus said, in order do what you love, right? Because or else you'll always live in poverty. And to do what you know, because if you don't know yourself, you are poverty. Like, I may not be quoting it completely right, but the shit was dope, bro. Like, it hit home because it makes sense. If you don't see yourself in a shining light, you're never going to be that shining light. That's just like that video I sent you earlier about about Dick Gregory going off on the word hope. Like, the reason why I sent that, because I understand it. Like, yeah, hope is all good and dandy at some stages, but when do you really see a successful man saying, I hope this is going to happen? You don't. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan didn't walk into the championship saying, I hope I win this game. Nah, that motherfucker walked into that set shit. I'm winning it. We going home tonight. Champions. You speak greatness into action. I feel like I'm going on a rant. I'm sorry.
Well, you're good, bro.
Like,
Yeah, it was an interesting video. I mean, I try to understood the man's conflict because you know at the end of the day you got to do what you got to do. You got to look out for you first. In order to be able to look out for others, you got to be able to look after you. And the only hope that you have for yourself is the one that you create. So in that aspect, I fully understand it because you could hope for something all you want and you could pray for it and pray for change. But unless you take the affirmative action to correct it and produce and progress your own hope, fuck hope at that point. So like I see is you know what I mean. I see the angle, but obviously that's just like tales from a man who at some point in time, you know, went as far as he could possibly go, and maybe he's still stuck there mentally. So therefore, hope is only
you do know
something.
you do know he was a renowned comedian, right? Like, the dude's world famous. He died a multi like $100 millionaire. Like, he didn't, there was nothing in his life he didn't fulfill. Those were real words, bro. That was legit how he sees the world, how he attacks everything. I only say that because I've sat back and listened to hours of Dick Gregory just talking shit. Like, real speaking real shit. Kind of like me and you do to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, I don't know.
I guess overall, it doesn't matter what you believe in. I guess it as long as you understand the message.
The only thing I'm really trying to say is with that one is hope can only get you so far, bro. Like, in my opinion, in certain situations, hope is a failing man's way of grasping onto something. When you know you're about to fall face first and there ain't nothing you can do about it, the only thing you can do is hope. That's the way I
Or
look at
change
it.
it, or change it and refuse to fall flat.
Well, yeah, exactly. But see, the person that decides to change it doesn't have hope. The person that decides to change it says, I ain't gonna let this happen.
Right.
But that's
But
that's
that's
all
determination.
but that's
Like,
all I
okay,
was really
so,
trying to say, bro.
but like, but my approach to hope is that it's that one in my life, or my way of live, how I live my life, is that hope is that one thing that you can always fall back on when trying it your way didn't always work. Hope is always there as a reminder to never quit.
I also look at things though as sometimes you gotta fall flat on your face.
Yeah, you're supposed to, or
Like,
else you never truly learn the lesson that you're supposed to have learned in that moment, or those moments where you fell on your face.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's because anytime I've ever been in a situation and it's gotten to the point where I'm like, damn, I hope this happens. It never really happens. Because as soon as I said those words, I hope, something in my mind automatically clicked and said, it ain't gonna happen. Just like he said in that video, you're automatically telling yourself, even if it does fail, I'm all right. Which that's just planning to fail, in my opinion.
Right.
That's like being in football sense, it's 3rd and 10, and you run a route for 9 yards because you're saying, well, I can get a yard on 4th down, bro. You planning to fail right off the bat.
Right.
I don't know, man.
So, okay, now I'm kind of circling back a little bit, but so other than what we've already talked about, would you suggest the world read the Book of Enoch?
Absolutely,
Everybody of every
yeah, because I believe
stature.
I believe everybody is going to get something different out of it. Like, there might
So
be
you
something that you, when you listened to it, you picked up on that I didn't, or vice versa.
now look, like, listen, guys. Okay, now when I started researching and learning, okay, I was like, this motherfucker's crazy. What the hell has he got me looking at? But the more I went in depth, the more it was just completely relatable, and that part made me feel like it's like skeptical. Like, what am I doing here right now? Am I questioning God's word? Am I questioning? You know what I mean? Uh, and it felt wrong, and we've talked about this, multiple times. Like, it made me feel conflicted personally, like on a spiritual level, because it just made me want to question the things that I've believed in my whole life, because I've only known it to be that way.
Yep,
I never looked at it like, not from
it's
a
just
second
rational.
person's but a third person's point of view. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and it was really hard to comprehend, and I refused to learn it. But as time progressed, I just, you know learn a little bit more, learn a little bit more, and then I start finding different videos and different stuff. They have things they talk about on the, like, history channel. They have some things out there. They reference, uh like, there's a series called the Nostradamus effect, and
Yep.
uh I
See,
don't know, but anyways,
the
I'm,
other
I'm just
day
kind of like bouncing.
the other day when you said it to me, bro, you were like, "Yeah, Nostradamus Part 1." I'm like, "I ain't seen that one." I'm like, "I've seen Nostradamus Effect. I've seen all those because those are a couple years old, but I ain't never seen Nostradamus Part 1." And then I went on and looked, and I seen it was the exact same thing I've already watched. I'm like, "Oh, I've already seen this."
So the part, yeah. So it was a part one though. It was like a 3-part series, right? 4-part series.
Something like that, because they just go all they like they keep on adding to it, right? Because
Yeah,
every time something comes more relatable or comes true, they just add something more to it. Because Nostradamus,
right.
he's supposedly predicted a bunch of shit,
Yeah,
like 9/11, all this shit.
yeah. Nostradamus was a great philosopher.
No,
Da- And Da Vinci followed his theories and his beliefs. It goes throughout history. I don't know. There's a lot of things that a lot of people have always wondered, but never had the answer to. And I just
and
think that some of the answers that you might be looking for could be in there. It's worth
yeah,
taking a read. If you don't have to believe in it, but just just take a look. Just make that judgment for yourself. You know,
now
you could call this crazy. I don't really care. I'm trust me, I'm not one of those people that in life that is like, hey, look, here's a new idea. Let's fucking go balls deep in it. I'm just not that guy. So don't make it seem like I'm one of those people I'm easily persuaded. So I really put a lot of thought into it, and just there's so many things that are relevant that I know I'm going to finish reading the rest of it just to know how it is. So maybe in our lifetimes we'll get to see book 2 surface before we die, because the next part of the world will be ready
I
for it.
I think we're gonna see him all on surface. Just my honest opinion. Really think that we do live in the end of days, and that before the end of our lifetime, the Messiah will come.
Think of all these storms that have happened in our lifetime.
Now, be
These
honest with you,
major world catastrophe storms that have just destroyed and killed
I
millions of people.
believe now I full-heartedly believe that when this day comes, me and you will have grandchildren. I don't think it's like right around the corner. I think it's decades away. But I think we're on the precipice and the cusp of all the starting events of what happens.
We have been.
Since 2001, I I full-heartedly believe that 9/11 was the starting event that tipped off Armageddon. It was just sounding.
Or at least a specific time that was significant to the next part of the big picture. Like a specific chapter.
This is why I say that. How many buildings got attacked that day? 3. The 2 trade centers and the Pentagon. For the starting of the apocalypse, God has three trumpetmen sound off his trumpets. That could be symbolic, symbolism. That was worldwide, and because that was the thing, the whole world heard this at once. The whole world shut down, and all eyes were watching what was happening all across the world that day. That was the trumpets. Like, I was watching some shit the other day on the History Channel about the pyramids, and they were talking about how if you go through the pyramids at the starting date of when the pyramids were first built, right, and went down to the first part to where it broke off into like 3 or 4 different directions, right? The first break off. That first break off right there is the death of Jesus, right? And then you go up the pattern this way, a certain way, and then it's the First World War type shit. And then so on forth down the line, another big event, and then another turn, and then eventually you come to a dead end, and that's supposedly supposed to be in the exact alignment and everything for the month of September in 2001. There you go. Why does it end there? because that is the point of which the world really ended. It was no longer the same. There was no turning back. There was no fixing it. The events that are going to happen regardless of what you do. You know what I'm saying?
They're almost predetermined.
Yeah. That's why, like, but there's just another show on the History Channel network called Ancient Aliens,
Yeah.
and they did an episode on Noah one time, and there's a theory out there that Noah was actually the last of a super race of aliens. He was a mixture. He was a hybrid between a human and an alien, Anunnaki blood. Right now, like I said, Enoch was taken into the sky and taught the ways of the gods. That's when God made a Megatron, showed him all the portals around the earth where the winds and snows and the rains come in, showed him heaven, showed him hell, showed him everything. Like there was something special about Enoch. He took him under his wing and just, that's my nigga. That's my road dog.
Like, that's my predecessor.
Yeah. So now, like I said earlier, Noah was his grandson, great-great-grandson, right? So the last of the bloodline all over the world. That's why Noah was supposedly picked by God to build the ark. Because you and your family are the last of my lineage. You're the last of my bloodline on the earth. You're the only ones that are pure. You're the only ones that I trust. Right? And supposedly in this, instead of Noah, because if you take down the depictings in the Bible of how big the ark was, you wouldn't be able to fit his family and all the fucking animals. It's just not possible. You wouldn't even be able to fit like a quarter of the animals. Yes.
I saw a meme and it had me thinking, right, about the whole story with Noah. If you think, what do you think the unicorns were doing that day? Why they couldn't get on the boat,
Uh,
right?
oh,
Because
man.
I mean, look, in old historians, they show, a Pegasus, a unicorn,
All right.
a chariot with wings. You know what I mean? So what if they just never made it on the boat, man? And that's why you don't see them.
I was about to get to that. That explains all of that, right? So, since the depictings means that it wasn't big enough for him to house all of these animals physically, how else could they have done it? Now, once again, he was supposed to be of alien descent, right? He had the brain of an alien. He had the intellect of the aliens. He had all of their knowing ofs. So supposedly, in their theory, what he did is he acquired DNA from everything, from plants, from animals, and instead of doing it as if um, a lion, a panther, a tiger, he just took
Mm-hmm.
from one feline, and then one from the one canine, one human from both genes, male and female, so that way he could just clone everything when he was done. So that's why there's no unicorns. Because when he came back, he's like, well, I fucking may remaking a unicorn. Or what if unicorns were just really Nephilim? Because Nephilim came in all shapes and sizes. That's what centaurs were supposed to be.
Or minotaurs.
Yeah, minotaurs. That's what I meant to say. Hobbits and shit like that.
Ogres. Orcs.
All that stuff was supposed to be Nephilim. Right? So
I don't know about orcs. I think that's just the inner nerd coming in out of me.
But
I was just
gonna go with it, just to, keep the flow, bro. But yeah, man. So if you did it that way, it's 100% plausible. It makes 100% sense. Shit, we can clone things now.
Right.
They can do shit back then that we can't do now.
They can make a fucking chicken breast out of a feather, a stem of
Yeah,
a feather.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so
Have you
really,
had your petri dish? I can't even say it. Petri dish chicken lately. Honey, what's for dinner? Petri dish chicken. Coming to your
see,
local supermarket.
and see, that's why I think it came out now for our generation. Like, yes, I understand that these books were found 20, 30 years ago, all that, but still, that's our generation. You know what I mean? We've grown up with having this stuff in history and stuff like that. And, you know, I've been hearing about stuff like this for a long time. That's why I try to, people have been thinking I'm crazy.
They say, "Hey Joe, why are you so crazy?" And you tell them,
I think outside the box from you, man. I ain't gonna ask the same questions as you. Straight out. Why am I gonna sit there and ask the same questions as you? Like, it makes no sense. I just got that answer when you asked it. It was fucking stupid. It didn't make any sense. Like, think outside the box sometime, people.
right?
Maybe you guys know what a mirage is, right? Maybe sometimes you're not seeing what you see.
It's a hotel down in Vegas.
Exactly.
But
Oh yeah. Like, I don't know, man. I think that's why it's here for our generation. This is why we call it the Great Awakening. And you really see it, bro. If you really pay attention, there's so many people that a year ago were not thinking the way they are today. Like, I seen a woman on TikTok earlier, right, made a video about how everyone's, she's still got a circle of friends that are all over there talking about, who was kicked off this reality show and stuff like that, like old typical bullshit. And she's like, I just can't relate to that person anymore. She's like, I'm all over here like, do you know 9/11 was an inside job? Stuff like that. Like, I love that shit because, like, now you see, like, all that shit was there to blind you. Like, that shit don't make no fucking difference. Who's on Big Brother? Who's not on Big Brother? Who married the Bachelor and Bachelor? None of that shit fucking matter. Did your life change? No. All you did is you were occupied with something. But these people now, they're reading this shit and they're having their eyes awaken to something, and your life is changing for the first time in a long time.
right, you begin to gain focus.
Exactly. You're gaining focus when you feel like everything else around you's falling down. Like,
Right.
that, literally, it is needed now more than it ever has been in history for the
Right.
truth.
I
Because,
mean, for the love of Pete, we're in the middle of an information war.
I mean, well, not even that, because, like, you have so many people out there that they've lost their real lives due to this pandemic, and this gives them something to, like, grasp onto. Like, all right, yeah, it gives them something to dig into, gives them a reason to do something.
You
You
might
know what I
need to
mean?
educate yourself as much as you can about everything that you can, because in the future, maybe all you have left is the knowledge you've obtained over the years that you're supposed to sit down with your grandchildren or somebody and have that conversation and pass on that knowledge and have it continue.
Which I feel not enough people do.
I try to teach my daughter everything, whether she listens or that's up to her. But I still try, and I
Like,
offer, and I make her do things. Like rather than show her how to hit a nail, I help make her hold the hammer and actually hit the fucking nail.
I
Not
ain't
be
gonna
afraid to
lie.
hit me. Just hit it. Just hit it.
Some of the most impactful conversations I've ever heard or been a part of in my entire life weren't directed towards me. It was just me sitting on the floor while the older people were talking around me. like when we would go, like when my grandfather would come around, or we would go to visit, and I'd go over to his house, and it'd be late. And we'd first get there. You know what I mean? We'd first get there, so it'd be like fucking 9, 10:30 o'clock at night, and everybody's just sitting there, or it'd be real early in the morning, like 1, 2:30, and it's just Grandpa, and it's just him and whoever just sitting there talking about religion for hours. Like I picked up more just sitting there listening in those conversations than I ever did going to church. Like I don't know, man. It's different when someone you love is sitting down telling you, "Yo, this is how shit is." It's
Right.
more impactful on your soul.
Knowledge is power.
Like,
My device is freezing.
is it like cold wise? Because you haven't been glitching or nothing.
It says, I have this thing stuck on my screen. It says battery temperature is too low. Device will stop charging.
So go on the back of it. Come on, man. Teamwork. If you guys like any of this, you can like, subscribe, share with your friends, hit the notification bell, and you never know. Maybe we'll get popping on YouTube, get some of that YouTube money, and be able to buy Pat a real computer. And he won't have to worry about his tablet freezing out in the cold. Get him a shed or something.
So I know sometimes I like to, we talk about so much different shit, man. It's really hard to generalize a normal conversation. You and I, they're usually spontaneous, sometimes aggressive, but they're fun.
Oh yeah.
So if we were to, for our listeners, what's something that you guys are researching? What is something that you guys are learning about that you think maybe we should look into? Like as a suggestion, we're always open to suggestions and we're always open to learning new things. And, maybe something you suggest is something that we've already been looking into. Maybe we could, collaborate it. Thanks for continuing to watch. Welcome back.
So yesterday, or what's today? The 8th? No, today's 7th.
8.
So
Okay.
yesterday on the 6th, uh, the group Anonymous came out with a video talking about how GameStop wasn't the first, it was just the beginning, wasn't the end, and that there's going to be another company. And then today, Elon Musk come out talking about how Dogecoin is going to be the next big cryptocurrency. So a lot of
Dogecoin.
people, yeah. So you got people out there trying to, maybe there's a link. Maybe your boy Elon is anonymous and Q.
Nah.
Why not?
It just no, man. We already went down this, dude. I asked you a while back. I told you I thought maybe I felt Elon was a little sus, and you're like,
Hold on.
bro, and
That doesn't make him
hold on.
suspect. That doesn't make him
Mm.
suspect.
Oh,
Both of those
I
people are
just
just people that are trying to relieve information and try to give people the public. If anything, that's an angel. Maybe Elon's an angel. Maybe Elon is Enoch.
you never know.
Bro, everyone's always talking about how he's an alien and about how he's weird. He's just different. His mannerisms and his mechanics are just off.
Maybe he's a lizard person.
He's not a lizard person. That's Zuckerberg.
A lot of times I just drop that out of nowhere. Maybe he's a lizard person, just because. I
It's
mean,
it's a
fuck it,
fun
why not?
it is a fun rabbit hole to fall yourself down, man.
Just just like I said, fuck it, why not?
Exactly. If you're gonna do this, you might as well go down lizard hole.
Right, might as well have a little fun with it.
Exactly. Like who's to say who's like, hey man, maybe us making picking fun out of it is wrong. Maybe
Just
maybe
like
we're
fucking
the non-believers. We're
right.
not the
Maybe we're. It's not that we're non-believers. It's just show me otherwise.
exactly. I want to see the lizard person. I want to see the eyes. You know what I'm saying? I want to see it for myself.
I want to see you look like me real quick.
Exactly.
That's it. That's all I want to see.
Do
Prove
the
that to
mis-
me, and I will never bring it up as a speculation ever again.
just one time mystique and we're good.
Yeah, just real quick, or even better, during a podcast, make me look like you. Wouldn't that be crazy if all of a sudden out of nowhere I just started to look like you?
And it's two Joes
Like,
on the
what the fuck
screen.
is happening?
Fuck.
What is happening? And real quick, I knock on your door. Wouldn't that really trip you out? Who's on my door? It's Pat. No way. Thank
That
you.
would
Thank
trip you
you.
the fuck out. So just saying, if this Dogecoin thing ends up blowing up and becoming like GameStop and the whole thing's happens over again, something's up.
But I mean, you know, I don't know. He
You see,
seems like one of those guys. He's one of those guys that wouldn't invest in something that he didn't think was worthy investing in.
oh, 100%. That's well, I would take it too.
Or maybe he's just one of those. I don't know. Would you characterize him as a not a genius? Well, maybe part
No,
genius.
I 100% characterize him as a genius.
Maybe
I think he is single-handedly the most innovative genius of our lifetime, and it will be proven.
a bit flamboyant, you could say.
Dude, he made a fucking flamethrower, bro. A working flamethrower. Just think about that.
He's soon to be funding the entire U.S. government fleet.
Yeah, bro, he's getting ready to send civilians into space through SpaceX. I just seen it the other day. Like he's talking, he's been for years. He's been planning on colonizing Mars. He's already said he doesn't want to die on Earth. He plans on going to Mars. He's going to go to Mars. He's going to be one of those first 100 people.
Speaking of space, I was watching this thing on National Geographic. Everybody studies something, and these Earth, what do they call them? They're basically like Earth data trackers, right? They're the
Yeah.
people that track everything that involves the movement of the Earth in on all avenues possible. And they did like a graphic depiction of the amount of debris that floats in our what you call it, the firmament area, that spot where the ozone stops right
Yep.
outside Earth's atmosphere. And from like a global image, like they predict that within the next 25 years there'll be such an array of trash and junk that from an opposing planet would almost be something similar to Saturn, because there's unknown, it's unknown specifically how many pieces of debris, broken satellites, space stations, rockets,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. I mean, it's countless. Nobody really knows an exact number. So, like, when they try to think of these new things that involve technology and thinking of what they could do to make it better, or AKA improve Big Brother. One of the problems that they have is that they can only put it up into the atmosphere so far. It has to be able to maintain at a specific altitude where it could get caught in the debris. And the debris, as it moves, is like the equivalent of a bunch of trees flying in a hurricane. You know, it's moving at such a fast pace,
Yeah.
spinning around the orbit of the planet. And that really says something about people as a society to the point where not only do we fuck up everything underneath us and around us, but we also got to do it above us as well.
Maybe that's what Saturn really is. Maybe that's what the rings of Saturn really are.
An old imploded fucking civilization,
Who says it's civilization so it isn't there?
right? Because we've never been there.
Like, who's to say that there's not already a civilization on Mars and they just live underground? Same thing with Mercury and Venus. Cause shit, just like with Mars on Venus, there's old rivers and canals with things that look like they could have had vegetation and agriculture just like the Earth. Like,
Like they proved that the moon has water.
yeah, because there's ice on the dark side. Here's the real thing. What do you think they seen on the moon that made them not go back? You had to have seen something on that moon that made you not want to go back. That you knew if you went back, there was going to be real problems.
I think maybe they stumbled upon this desert land that looked uninhabitable, and from within a certain zone that we're able to explore from,
Hmm.
like compared to where they landed. I think maybe they explored a little too far and were possibly met with some resistance and were asked to leave and never come back.
Oh, so you just like me, there was something there that they seen. Gotcha.
Right. Were there. They allowed them to land there once back in the 80s, and that was it.
We seen
That's
evidence.
just a thought. That's just a thought. I don't know. It could probably completely opposite, and I'm just a stoner rambling on about shit. But it could be plausible. You never know. We'll find out. We're supposed to go back to the moon in 2022. We'll see if it happens.
I don't think we will.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it'll happen either, but we're supposed to.
I mean, I still want to see the evidence that you went the first time.
Right.
Not you guys in a swimming pool, or whatever kind of studio you were in. The real evidence.
Swimming pool.
That's how they train astronauts for doing like moonwalks and shit. They put you at the bottom of a swimming pool in the suit, make you walk around.
Feel the weight of gravity that 10 times your body weight.
Yep.
Makes sense. I think we should go back to the moon.
I don't think we really ever went to the moon.
I'm just saying, I think we should go back. We have the technology now to make it where, you know, the only thing you might have to worry is you might not be able to broadcast from the moon, but you still be able to document and
If they can
record.
broadcast from the space station, they can broadcast from the moon.
But think about it. There's a certain reason why the space station is a certain altitude and no more, and it's stuck in a certain position in orbit. You know what I mean? Like, how come they couldn't go any further? Why couldn't they go out a little further? Would
Oh,
it
they
would it break the communication, or you know
would
what
it
I
break a
mean? So there's
treaty?
so would it break a treaty? Right? Is this the no cross zone, or what if the signal only goes that the Earth provides? What if the signal only goes as far as the firmament or the ozone layer?
But see, if you look at how they say Earth, I mean, the universe is constructed, that wouldn't make sense because there would be nothing but energy and power flowing through outer space. Just like this. This is another part that's always bugged me out about space, right? Well, not about space, but about how they explain things in science. They say that we are heated by the sun. I want to call bullshit. Because at the same point, the coldest part on the planet are the highest parts, right? Higher up you go, colder things get. Doesn't make sense if the heat's coming from outside, right?
Mm.
Outer space itself is supposed to be freezing. Doesn't make sense if the heat is outside. Like when you heat up an oven, not just the rack on the bottom is warm. The whole oven is warm. You get what I'm saying? Like our ancient civilizations knew that we were heated from the core of the earth. From within, the heat rose. That's what heat does. Heat rises. The sun is nothing more than our light source, our energy source.
Right.
So if you look at it that way, space would be unlimited energy. It would be free flowing. So the whole concept of not having a signal really wouldn't make any sense.
Excuse me. I'd love to go to space. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Oh fuck yeah. I think if they, to
Yo,
be honest with
Elon,
you,
if you need a couple of volunteers, we'll fucking go.
damn right. Safety meeting, first podcast in space, baby.
Hell yeah. You could join us. We could all just, we know you burn. We've seen you. We've seen you. The whole world's seen you.
That was awesome too, man. I was burning right along with you, Elon. I was like, oh shit, I get to smoke Elon, man. Virtually. He doesn't know it, but we're smoking together.
This dude is genius, and he's smoking pot. Well, if he's doing it, then shit.
Yo, you know what was awesome about it, bro? He did this right here. He sat there, he looked at it, goes, it just passed it like, eh, not my
Yeah.
thing.
I didn't inhale. You didn't see me.
I smoked better back in the 80s. This is all right.
Suddenly pulls out a small bag of chili cheese Fritos. I'm saving these just in case.
All right. I don't know, man.
So here's something. So before we, previous episodes, we touched on Myanmar. Well, Myanmar has now reached the stage of a blackout.
Not
That's
complete
where they're at.
blackout, because there is still some news coming through. You know, the whole fucking country is out there protesting. Straight out told them, we ain't gonna fight until y'all stop your bullshit. We want our president back. We see you, Myanmar. We see you.
We see you.
Don't judge us by our president.
There's a complete media and Wi-Fi blackout. We'll put it that way. They're doing their best. We see you. We're still watching. I hope we make it through this because stuff like this is just starting to happen all over and all over. And one thing people don't think about is the fact that, like, right now, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I mean, the army runs our country at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not for nothing, but the country is also of Myanmar is being run by their military as well.
Haiti.
There's a direct reference. I'm just saying it's a little coincidental.
President of Haiti recently had like 20 people arrested and executed. because they were planning a coup on him, and there was an attempt on his life. Just read about that one earlier today. Because I was thinking during the halftime show, while everybody else was watching The Weekend, and I was having my own little safety meeting by myself.
Facts.
Let me see what was going on in the world today that they were trying to sneak past us. Not too much, except for the fact that, there was a lab in South Africa that did a test on the coronavirus vaccine and found that it don't work. Funny. Don't protect you at all.
No.
But, we're not going to believe it because it came out of South Africa. So, their labs aren't good as ours. We only train their doctors and their lab technicians. But they don't know as much as us.
1.6 million people in the state of New York have gotten vaccinated.
I don't know, man. It's just
111,000. No, it's up to 100 and I forget the exact number, but yesterday it was reported 111,000 new in the 24 hours.
I know the pandemic's real, but I think there's got to be a different way to beat it, bro. We've had, listen, all throughout history, we've had things like this come up and kill people and viruses and shit like that. And they didn't take vaccines to eradicate it right away. And we still didn't have all of this shit that we have now.
Yo, if you get the fucking shot, you can still catch it.
Yeah.
It
Bro,
doesn't make you susceptible to it all. So really,
know,
what is the fucking point of what you're doing?
Now they want you to wear 2 masks. Wearing one isn't good enough. They want you to wear 2.
And then you're gonna have a third one for your genitalia and a fourth one for your asshole.
Oh, no. They've already got step 3 planned out. Just a couple weeks after the coronavirus, I was already seeing prototypes for it. They have a prototype. They have a thing. It is legit a bubble that goes over just your head. It seals you off. It goes right around your midsection. It looks like a little vest. Completely seals you off.
Fucking bubble boy.
Exactly. Come on, man. Really? You're gonna change us all into the fucking the little things from that game Among Us?
Germaphobes.
Exactly. Like, come on, bro. I ain't. No. You know that new cell phone game Among Us that like kids like to play?
Yeah.
That's what they're gonna try to change us into. Just that one little bubble, and all you got is a little mask that you see each other through.
You got your radioactive suits.
Yeah, like everybody. Like, come on, man. Next thing you know, we're gonna be Demolition Man and having virtual sex and going into a clinic just to mix our shit together to have a baby, but we ain't never really done nothing together.
Mm-hmm.
Wiping our ass with 3 seashells because everybody bought up all the toilet paper and then forgot how to make it.
The apocalypse is ours.
Like, come
Yo,
on,
if
man.
any of y'all saw that video that Joe made, that was probably one of the funnier videos I've ever seen. I don't know about y'all, but I laugh my ass off every time I see it. Sorry, Joe. I'm just being for real. It's funny.
Oh, that's all right, man.
The apocalypse is upon us. Everybody's buying toilet paper. You can't beat that.
You know what that means? They're gonna shit themselves. Mm-hmm.
You know what they say, Joe? People have more fun than anybody.
Exactly.
I wish I could say I learned something today, but I learned one thing though. I mean, we've already established this, I believe, and reviewed it once or twice, but I don't know. It's pretty important. Fuck Tom Brady.
Fuck Tom Brady.
Why you gotta be so good, man? Bullshit. Why don't you save some of them fucking rings for other people? Why don't, you know?
I got a quick message.
Cheating. He's Anunnaki.
I got a quick
No.
message to Dan Snyder. Can you start to pay off the refs like he did for all these years? Because it seemed to be working. Like, come on, bro. Just bite the bullet for the team. You got enough money. Message sent. Hope you see it. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends.
Safety meeting.
You know, if
Talking shit.
you don't like this, you can always go find Pat on OnlyFans. He's got a nice little page over there.
I've got a nice, really cool video of these bees having sex. It's amazing.
Yeah, oh, that is pretty funny.
I mean, they really were enjoying themselves.
Oh man. So you feeling safe, man?
Feeling safe.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty cold.
I'm not cold, but well, I am a little chilly, but I'm feeling safe. Got my boy Blue in the background.
What up, Blue? Should we want to
That's
do a? You want to do a night in review? What did we learn? Like, let's do a review.
I don't know, man. What'd you learn today? What'd you learn from our meeting? Because last episode you didn't get to talk too much.
A couple things. I think I learned that even though you don't understand it, it's perfectly acceptable to open up your mind to new things. It's part of evolving as a person and as a human being and as a provider to society.
Are you talking about anal?
Well, I was getting to that, but since you're going to talk about it, just jump right in. Fuck Tom
I mean,
Brady.
I figure that's the best way to do it. Just like Ice Cube, no Vaseline. No, nothing. I really thought that'd make you break out in song.
He says no Vaseline, just some cups full of drink and some gasoline. Right?
I don't know. I was really hoping you would know it.
I think that's how it goes.
And you really disappointed me on that one.
Dude,
I'm sorry,
I know about
people.
Ice Cube.
I'm sorry. I really thought that he was going to pull through on that one, but apparently not. He fucking sucks tonight. Just like
Whatever,
Patrick Mahomes. Yo, we're watching the game, right? And Erica just keeps on going. Why does he keep running backwards like that? Doesn't he know the ball's got to go the other way? I'm like, I don't know, man.
He's got no choice.
Yeah, he's just running for his life.
They were on him by the time he took his third step. I mean, he
Yeah.
had no choice but to go run everywhere.
There was one play, man. It was like right at the beginning of the fourth, and you could just tell he was scared shitless because he went to go scramble and he was running around and he just started going like this.
Yeah.
And he was just looking for someone to hit him, and he just went out of bounds.
You could tell
Or
he was
threw it
rattled
downfield.
at that point.
Yeah.
He was completely rattled. They were in his head. Next thing you know, his head's on a swivel when he should be looking downfield.
His head, he's already got his head like this most of the time. You ever seen him when he walks? Like he'll sit there, he'd talk to you like this. Then as soon as he goes to walk away, he's like,
Yeah. He walks a little sassy. He's a little sassy.
that's what Erica said too. He's like, he walks a little fruity, don't he? I'm like, hey man, he can throw a football though.
He could ball.
That's right.
Damn good at it, and just tonight wasn't his night, I guess.
No, you know, he just
That's
didn't
all right,
pay
though.
enough
Well, hey,
to the
Tom,
refs.
we'll see you next year in the Super Bowl.
Please.
Yeah, man. It'll happen.
Okay.
So now what do we do? Football season's over.
Um,
We got basketball season still going on, and baseball season starts here in the spring.
don't know and watch baseball.
I think I'm gonna this year. The Yanks look pretty promising, so I'm gonna go for it. See what
Let's
they
go
do.
Braves. Woo!
It's racist.
I don't know. Fuck you, it is.
Then why are they trying to change the name of it?
Because they're trying to erase Native Americans from history.
Because
We know a lot of truths.
because
Because our truths will change the world, bro.
no, because it's racist.
No.
That's my point.
No, it's not because it's racist. It's because we had the perfect system. We had the perfect societies, and they came in here and they thought they could fucking fix it. Don't fix what ain't broken. Like, come on, people. I don't know about you, but right, we can wrap it up. I really ain't got too much more to say. I can't hear you no more, man. Technical difficult. Fucking Decepticons.
God damn it!
God, I was wondering why I went
I-
quiet when I stopped talking, and I was sitting
Can you hear
here
me?
answering back the text message, and he's over here on fucking mute.
Who's
This
on
is
mute?
teamwork. This is teamwork right here, people. Jesus.
I'm not on mute. You're on mute.
No, you were over here. Everybody could hear me.
Oh,
Fucking Decepticons.
every
Where's
time.
Shia LaBeouf when you need him?
Yeah,
Jesus fucking Christ.
go get Optimus. Let's make this shit go down.
According to Erica, I guess he was trying to play a Mexican man and the tax collector. I'm like, that's sounds like a pretty hard pull off for him, man.
Hey man, look. Have you ever watched Tropic Thunder?
You ever seen a
Alright.
dude playing another dude? You ever seen a dude that's just a dude playing another dude that's a dude? Or some shit like that? I can't do it, man.
I'm just saying, they will try anything. But
Man,
I'm not gonna lie though.
that movie was underrated.
The first time I ever watched Tropic Thunder, the first time ever, dude, I swear I was like 20 minutes, 30 minutes into the movie before I realized it was even Robert Downey Jr. I swear to God. I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit. Don't look at him stupid.
Oh my God.
For real.
I don't remember anybody calling him racist for that movie neither, man. Do you?
Not really, no.
Kudos to people. Nowadays, he'd be the most racist person ever.
Yeah. Most people have probably never heard of Tropic Thunder. You should. It's a pretty funny movie, man.
Hell yeah, man. I think it's one of those lost gems.
Mm-hmm. Good one. Tropic Thunder. Well, if you guys appreciate the episode, we appreciate you as always. We appreciate the love and the support. And you got any questions, comments, concerns? Just go ahead and drop it in the comments box. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit that subscribe, and you gotta hit the little bell. That's what lets you know when we put out a new episode.
And share it with your friends. Stop
Share it
being
with your friends.
selfish.
Share it with your friends. Even if you think we're saying something interesting or you think we sound like complete morons and you share it that way, we really don't care. The point is, something about it keeps you coming back, and we appreciate you for it.
That's right. Love y'all.
Be good. Be good to each other.
Peace.
Peace.